pride of England and all the UK, heavyweight champion of the world, AJ.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and enjoy the show. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and today we're going to be going over some important statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning Anthony Joshua. Guys, we know this upcoming March and April is huge for boxing. There's a lot of big fights, and one of them that is coming up within the next few days is the Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou fight. So today, we know that Ngannou is only fighting his second time professionally as a boxer. He fought once against Tyson Fury and surprised a lot of people, which has led to this matchup with Anthony Joshua. What I want to do today is look back at AJ's resume. We're going to focus on his last 10 fights, and we're going to add up his opponent's win-loss record, come up with a statistic called strength of schedule, and talk a little bit about his road to get to where he is. We know he's working his way back to the championship. He wants those belts back. This guy is a former champion, former Olympian, and some of the facts about Anthony Joshua that we already know, his adoring fans call him AJ. He does have a career record of 27-3 with 24 knockouts, giving him an 89% knockout to win ratio. He is the number 2 ranked heavyweight in the world. He's 34 years old, Orthodox fighter from the UK. His frame is massive, 6'6", with an 82-inch reach. And like I said, on March 8th in Riyadh, he'll be taking on Francis Ngannou. Guys, we're going to trace his resume all the way back to 10 fights ago when he fought Joseph Parker, and we're going to finish on the Wallin fight. If you take those dates, when he fought Parker, that was in March of 2018, and this coming March when he fights Francis, that'll be 6 years. So AJ's averaging less than 2 fights a year, which isn't that unheard of for this modern day age of heavyweights. And what we're going to do is add those records up. When he fought Joseph Parker, Joseph was 24-0. After Parker lost, he was 24-1. So you guys stay up to speed. The record that we're tallying is that undefeated record when he fought AJ on fight night. Parker was 24-0. Povetkin was 34-1, knockout in the 7th. Ruiz the first time, 32-1. AJ lost via knockout in the 7th. The rematch, Ruiz was 33-1. AJ won a UD in the 12th. Pulev, 28-1, knockout in the 9th. Usyk the first time, 18-0. AJ lost a UD in the 12th. The rematch, Usyk was 19-0. AJ lost a split in the 12th. Franklin, 21-1, UD in the 12th. Helenius, 32-4, knockout in the 7th. Wallin, 26-1, knockout in the 5th. Over AJ's last 10 fights, he's gone 7-3 with 4 knockouts. When we add up all of his opponent's win-losses, that equates to 267-10, which gives him a 96% strength of schedule. And guys, that is the highest of all the fighters we've done so far over their last 10 fights. Guys like Canelo, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr., Jaime Munguia, David Benavidez, they all have high percentages, but 96% over the last 10 is the highest. And what does that tell you? Somebody like Anthony Joshua, where he is in his career, every fight he's going to get the best of his opponents, and he's going to get the best fighters. Now, this is a bit of a wild card fight with Francis having a record of 0-1. We know Francis's pedigree coming from MMA. He was a world champion in the UFC. We also know how he looked against Fury. Take it how you want it. A lot of people had Francis winning. He has that X factor of power, but AJ has the experience. He's come up through the amateur ranks. Like I said, a storied Olympic career. And a lot of guys only a few years ago had AJ as going down in the Hall of Fame as one of the best. When I look back at his last 10, the fight that stands out on the page that we're going to go over a little bit more in detail is the Ruiz rematch. I really think that fight encapsulates Anthony Joshua's career. A guy who has been put on the top of the pedestal, then he's had his letdowns, and then he's had to dig his way back, and he seems like he's constantly having to prove things to his naysayers. And when he got knocked out against Ruiz in that first fight and took the immediate rematch and came back to win a gritty unanimous in the 12th, I really think that encapsulates the gritty mindset of Anthony Joshua. And let's take a closer look at that fight. The rematch between Ruiz and Joshua was billed as the clash on the dunes. It was a heavyweight pro boxing rematch between the Mexican-American champion and the British former champion, AJ. It was to unify the WBA, IBF, WBO, and IBO heavyweight world titles. AJ ended up finding redemption. He won this fight via UD. After losing by 7th round knockout in the first fight, AJ said he wanted an immediate rematch. He claimed that the fight at Madison Square Garden was a shell of himself. The fight was domination by AJ. He used his jab to set up his right hands throughout the whole fight. Ruiz came in overweight. He didn't look like he prepared for that fight, and Anthony Joshua made him pay. He won it by a very wide unanimous decision on all judges' scorecards. Two of them had it 119 to 109. The other had it 118 to 110. And like I said, going into the breakdown of this fight, Ruiz looked like he was a guy who got comfortable. He looked like he was a guy who was happy with the first victory. He became a star after that 7th round knockout. He was doing media. Everybody knew his name. And then for the rematch, he looked like a guy who really didn't prepare as well as he should have. And AJ looked like a guy who got knocked out the first fight and didn't stay down. We saw a better jab. We saw a guy who was dancing, who had a game plan, who wasn't afraid of Ruiz's power, and he was patient, and he picked Ruiz apart. And I feel this is the mindset. This is the true grit of Anthony Joshua. You can knock him down, but he'll stand back up. Guys, heavyweight boxers are easily to be criticized. We love a guy who wins, but as soon as they lose, we jump on their back. And Joshua took all of that in stride, took all the criticism, his naysayers in the UK and his naysayers globally, and he showed up against Ruiz during the rematch, and he righted the ship. And this March against Francis Ngannou, he has another opportunity to extend his winning streak and find those belts that he's been everlong seeking for. Guys, if you want me to do one of your favorite fighters, an upcoming fight, anything statistically within the boxing circle, you let me know in the comment section below.
He takes a prideful stroll around the ring, walking in front of his British fans, walking in front of the British broadcasters, as if to say, how did you like that? Bring those belts back to me.